which means you'll get a little bit more precision on your back testing. What? Over to you, Will. Sorry about that.
No problem. Used to it. Evening, everyone. Tonight we're just going to go over any questions that you users have and set up some bots with David strategies. Just 2 seconds. Can you still hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Are we watching? Oh.
No major updates this week on Trigger Trade. Only update which we've been actually done is on the UI itself, so on the back end of Trigger Trade, just to make it easy for people so they don't have to look for a link now. You can also book an appointment here. That's on David Tech Strategies. In case you have any questions or experience any issues with setting up your David Tech bots. Okay, so just let me open up the chat on a separate window. First question is, has anybody got any indicators they want these set up and go for step by step together for setting up? If not, I'll be doing my favourite one, which is the dead zone.
Just so everybody knows that William, it's echoing, William. The David.tv is sharing the screen. William's sharing his screen on David.tv, just in case anybody didn't see it.
Okay, right, let's get on with setting up bots. So first things first, let's go to Trading View. Put up a chart. Let's go and get dead zone. So there will be 3 and a V4 that's set up. So I'll just load them both up. So for any new members, V4s are the latest latest of David Tech indicators. V3 are previous versions.
Sorry, why are you loading both of them?
Because I'll do both setups. I'll explain how to do both setups because the V3, which I'm about to start with, has a checkbox which is no longer used. So just to pinpoint that point out so nobody actually checks it, because if not, it will loop the errors.
Okay.
So we can tell the different versions with the core boilerplate. Like V3 uses the boilerplate from 3.0.4. Here we're going to go scroll down and get straight to the areas which are interesting towards us. Like I just said a minute ago, the V3 versions have got use David Tech bots. These areas are no longer in use. The only part which we're going to have interest is going to be the alerts down the bottom here. So for any new members which haven't used it so far, let's just switch over to Trigger Trade itself. Trigger Trade's a David Tech creation for bots trading, so connects your Bybit account directly to connects your TradingView account directly to Bybit to place orders based on David Tech strategies. But there's also a what we call in-house a static bot, which allows you to be able to create bots for any type of indicator. You can hear an echo, Rudy. Better now? Can you hear me better now?
I could hear it as well. It's fine.
Yeah, fine now, is it?
Yes.
Cool. From running two computers. So first of all, of course, if you're new to David Tech, you need to sign up. If you've already got an account, you can go straight away directly to log in. And when you've logged in, you get a nice picture of David here, a little video to explain how to use it, and also what we're going to be interested in is Bybit Connector. And we've also got a functionality here, which is the API encryptor, which encrypts your Bybit APIs with an extra layer of security, which is decoded on our servers in real time when the trade is declared for it. So just an extra layer of security, like I just said, in case you leave your computer open to public or forget to log out your TradingView account, etc. That way, at least your APIs are still secure. Very simple. All you do is go to API encrypted to start off with. Enter your APIs here, into your secret, click on the encrypt button, and there you go. Now you've got a new set of APIs which are available to be used straight away, and that are encoded via our server and decoded via the Trigger Trade server as well. So just to prevent from any issues in future, like I said, if you leave your computer open to public or if you forget to log out on a public computer, etc. So now we're going to switch over to Bybit. First of all, we're going to select USDT or inverse. So we're going to select USDT for this trade, whether it's testnet or mainnet. Then ask them we take our secret code as well. Here we've got all of our entry options. So we've got the entry type, exit types, just easy to set up. Our last take profits, whether our margin mode will be cross or isolated, depending on your trading options. Use absolute percentage balance or USDT fix. So I'm going to stick with USDT for this example. Quite a few people have asked me how to enable multi-TP, so we'll go through that on a second video in a minute, on second setup. So at the moment, we'll just leave it as off. We can use our leverage. So here we can set standard leverage for V4 versions, so not the bot that will be set up currently. We can also set it to use dynamic versions, which will take a dynamic leverage, which will take outside of the David Tech indicator. So a minute ago, we encrypted our API, so this time we're going to switch this to on. Very important if you're using the API encryptor to switch this on to on, because if not, your trades will not be able to be placed. Here we have the altcoin for the times. Exit on position, so if you want it to close your current position and reopen a new position if the alert's triggered. Prevent pyramiding, that's directly set up inside of David Tech, inside of his own indicators. Stop trade on balance, so if say you got $200 on your account and you put a really high stop loss, like for example a stop loss which is worth $70, your account should be at 130 at that point, but if you want to stop it before, you can put in 150 there, and so you only be able to lose $50 based on that setting. Here we have our Telegram ID. Telegram ID is one of the most important fields which I highly recommend to have plugged in, because for status to be able to get in case of errors on the log, etc. I had some users the other day which had issues, for example, based on the into TradingView, they set the leverages too high compared to what Bybit actually offer. And so they were getting errors. First time they didn't, the bot enabled, second time they did. First time we couldn't figure out what the issue was. Second time, as soon as we got through the messages, indicated that leverage was too high based on what Bybit's options are. So highly recommend to use this. All you got to do is go into have your Telegram installed, add the user info bot, Telegram Tech API, David Tech API. Do /start on both of them. Your user info bot will give you an ID, and David Tech API bot. When you do /start, you'll get two little ticks next to it to say it's connected to the bot services, and also in that way it enables it. So also give you an ID code which will look like this. You just have to put into here. And now we're going to go scroll back up to stop it and copy our enter long. Switch back over to trading view. So we've got all of our setup already done here. Paste it in. Switch back again. Do the same with the exit longs. Do once again the same with enter shorts. And one last time with the exit short. When we've done that, we can just go click on OK. The alerts multiple take profit levels down here are for if you're using other bot services like Alertron, etc. So with Trigger Trade, all we're interested in is the first section up here. So entry long exits. Click on OK. So we've got that service set up. Click on more. Now we're going to go and so the three little dots here. Click on alert. We're going to select, make sure that we've got our condition so that we're using the right indicator that we want to select. Order fill only. Select the full content out of the message here. And just keep on scrolling down until we find placeholder area here. Placeholder with the strategy prefix. And we're going to be interested in getting this message here. So strategy order.order.alert underscore message. Copy that out. And close this window. Put it inside the message. So here we've got the dead zone. E3, for example, for a name. We want to check, make sure our message hasn't got any spaces before or any spaces put in after. Just because if not, the alert will not be triggered correctly. Now we're going to go switch over to notification. If it's the first time you set up, you should have something that looks a bit like this. And you've got to click on webhook URL. By default, my webhook's already filled because I've set up the Trigger Trade bots in previous versions. If not, we just go and back to Trigger Trade, copy webhook URL, and paste it inside of here, like so. Click on create. And we're just going to wait for 2 seconds. And there you go. Your alert's ready to be able to be triggered with Bybit. Is there any questions on setting up a V3 setup? Okay, I'll move on to the V4. So for setting up a V4, exactly the same idea as a V3. So let's just close that one off and take this one. We're going to scroll further down here. Once again, we're not going to use the fields for Trigger Trade here. We're only going to go and use this area here on the API longs and just copy out the settings. Gatsby, no, it will be exactly the same setup with Bybit and Binance. Just need to enable your hedge mode inside of Binance because that's a functionality we've added to Bybit Auto Hedge, which isn't yet added to Binance. But apart from that, that's the only thing which you'll need to change. So we're going to go to our dead zone here. This one I'm going to set up by using multi-take profits. So I'm just going to go scroll up here for a minute. Look for multi-take profits. Select take multi-profits X3, TP1, TP2, and of course the third one. I'm just going to leave those by default here. And now we're just going to go and back down to the alert area. Go back to Trigger Trade. Just refresh it just to give it a clean slate. So once again, we're going to select if it's mainnet, testnet, USDT, etc. Going to put in any content here. Here we're going to put in our traded amount. Multi-take profits. Leave the leverages as we've got fixed leverages here. Just going to say we're using the encrypted once again. We generated our codes before. And I'll then put in our Telegram ID. Like so. Scroll back up to the top. Copy the entry long. And for setting up multi-TPs, what we're going to do is just paste it inside like so. And now you can see that based on the previous alert, we've now got TP1 size take amount 1, TP2 size take amount 2, TP1 price, long TP, TP2, long TP2, and the full long. So now we've got the multi-take profit enabled inside of that. To be able to have it for successful trades, you've got to check the box, which I checked above, like the take multi-profit, multi-take profit X3 has to be enabled. If not, it won't be taken into account on that trigger itself. Let's go back to trigger.trade, exit long once again. As you can see, once again, we've still got all of our multi-TPs, which are enabled here. Copy along. Cool. Now, as you can see, this one here, just to keep an idea, is you've got open a short position, take amount 1, take amount 2, and this one, instead of being long TP1, is short TP1 and short TP2, short TP full, just to keep an eye there so you can check, make sure that you're not inversed any of these codes. And an exit code here. Save that like so. Click on OK, and once again, we're just going to go and add an alert. So for anybody that doesn't use it, doesn't use the 3 dots here, we're going to set up an alert like so, and this time we're going to select the dead zone B4 or the field only once again. So we're going to go to the dead zone B4. Once again, question mark. And going to placeholder strategy once again, strategy order underscore message. Close off this window, post it like so, make sure there's no spaces before or after. And go and get the webhook if you've not got it before previously. Whether you got multi-TP enabled or not, it's exactly the same webhook. So if you've got it enabled from the first time, you can still stick with trigger trade variable bot here like so. Click on create, and there you go, we're done. So we're just going to wait for it to load for there you go. The V4 has now loaded. Rightly, let me just check one thing. V4 with MTF quickly, just one. V4 with MTF is going to be exactly the same setup. Only difference is this time we have not got any checkboxes below. Correctly, yeah, that's correct. Here we haven't got any checkboxes. We've got to ignore. It's directly the new versions of the code itself. So we've directly got the alerts, and we just go and enter the alerts like we've done previously. And that's how you set up a dead zone with V4 and MTF. Now we've removed those fields to stop confusion. After that, we've got on David-Tech. So like we said, we had got the Bybit. We've also got Binance connector, which isn't yet an official supported documented version, so API connector. Currently, we're only using Bybit as a development base, and also we deploy to other connectors in future. We've got a couple of exchanges on the way as well. Some users have also been using static bots. So if we want to set up with a static bot, exactly the same setup as a David-Tech strategy. Only difference is here we're going to have to select the coin pair that we want to trade. For example, BTC. We're going to select our amount once again. So we're just going to skip all of those things as we've seen them previously. Our leverages. And here we've got a new option which we can add on for a static bot as a stop loss or a final take profit. Entirely up to you if you want to enable them or disable them. So if you want to enter without a stop loss fitted or without take profit. So here I'm just leaving without a stop loss. It's only going to have a final take profit of 5% example. If you want to use the multi-take profit, once again, here we're going to add the multi-take profit with position sizes. So 33, for example, we'll put 1%, 2%, for example. Here we can once again use our encryptor if we wanted to. So we're going to stick on the idea that we've encrypted our APIs from the beginning. We've got some extra functions which are directly built into Davidtech strategies when needed. So like DCA, the pyramiding, which you can switch on and off, conditional pyramiding as well, which are part of Davidtech strategies. If you're using a static bot, so if you're using another indicator, for example, or trading on on an entry. And once again, you've got your Telegram ID just here as well. Set up a static bot. All we're going to do is go copy, for example, a long, select here, add an alert for example, for like I just put on 22,438. Add an alert on that coin pair. And this time inside the message, we're just going to post the code which was given to us by the trigger.trade. Check our notifications that the webhook URL is set correctly. So it's going to be the same webhook as what was previous setups. And just click on save. And when we hit that point, we'll enter a long position. And that's how to set up bots with trigger.trade. Has anybody got any questions? Or would anybody like me to go through a setup on a specific indicator for them?
That's great. Thanks, Will.
All is clear,
Cool.
except for these property values and input values.
Property values and input values. So property values here, these setups are not taken into account by the bot itself. These are just for backtesting inside Trigger Trade. So of course you've got your initial capital, what your order size would be. As you can see, like I said earlier on, is the pyramidings are set inside a Davidtech strategy, so you don't actually have to look after that inside of Trigger Trade. And an input further lower down here, we've got so inside of input, we're going to use our leverage. The indicator for leverage is inside of the input fields to be able to backtest once again. So any of these settings itself aren't actually used on the indicator. Sorry, I was reading the message at the same time. On the actual indicator itself. So any of those settings have to be reported back to Trigger Trade inside of the Davidtech strategy. So if like for example, that one there, we were using a 30 leverage based on the backtesting strategy we would have. If we wanted to trade with it, we'd have to set our leverage here at 30.
Dynamic leverage.
Done?
Dynamic leverage doesn't automatically select that for us.
A dynamic leverage will select it on a V4 version or on a V3.
Yeah, V4, yeah.
I'm on the V3, for example. And dynamic leverage would select it on a, is that a V3? Was that MTF? No, that's V3. It's a V4. So if you want to run a dynamic leverage using the V4 version, so you've got your leverage which is there, here you'd have to select the dynamic leverage for it to be able to be enabled for yourself. And else you'd be able to run a V4 and also it would fit the automatic leverage for you based on your strategy indicator.
And for backtesting properties as well, doesn't matter, or it does?
For backtesting, anything which is set inside your properties will give you the backtesting. So based on your initial capital, for example, what currency you'll be running. So we'll be using USDT, for example, the order size, everything which is inside this area here will give you the backtesting results.
But as well in inputs, when you change the inputs, it's changing the results.
Only for the leverage.
There is leverage and there is a percent of portfolio.
Yes, that's correct, Chet.
Yeah, the one up, the upper one as well. When you play with that, it changes the result. So I don't know which one we are to follow.
It depends. It generally has to. You have to fit it around the way that you want to trade. For instance, the percentage. Between the inputs and the properties. So the properties is you, for instance, you put. The idea is you go up the top and you press properties. You go up here and then you put your full amount of your account at the top there, or whatever your maximum is you're going to be trading. You go down to the order size, and that should be a 100%. The reason being is because we're calculating for leverage. You go back to the inputs, then you scroll down, and then you use the portfolio percentage of portfolio here. That way, it can calculate whether you're using leverage or not. So that's where you put your percentage of portfolio you want to use. If you want to use a fixed amount for each and every one of your trades, if William just clicks there, you can see that there's a percentage or fixed amount there as well. So you can use fixed amount in dollars as well.
Okay, clear.
Okay.
And one more last question. When we are loading the preset strategies, the results never come the same as showed on the screenshots. I don't know why.
Okay, there's several reasons. I'll just go through a couple of them. One of them is I would open the optimizer plugin that we've created. I'll be 100% honest with you. The TradingView doesn't particularly like it, and they change the source code of TradingView quite often because they don't like things like Python that goes away and takes their results and things like that. So they change the format of the code of their website quite often. So that's one reason. The reason is it tries to import every single one of those values as it sees it inside that Excel spreadsheet that you're uploading, and sometimes it misses them because TradingView has changed a name or something in the code. That's one reason. So what I'd suggest you do at the same time is when you import them, open the Excel spreadsheet, just make sure visually everything is fixed perfectly. The second reason would be is you might have a smaller package on TradingView than the person that actually backtested, which means that they have more candles and more data. So they would have tested on a longer time period, and that would be another reason why they won't. The backtesting results might not look the same. And the third and final reason, which I've just kind of forgot, the third and final reason, let me remember. Backtesting data. I can't remember the third reason. Oh yes, that you're not on exactly the same exchange. So for instance, if you're trading on Binance and the person is trading on Bybit, the candles may not be exactly the same, and that's why there might be a slight difference in the backtesting results. There are three reasons they might be different.
Thank you. Clear.
Okay.
If you're trading on a Pro or Pro Plus account from TradingView for backtesting, you're limited to 5,000 candles.
Trading or preview?
Premium. Okay. So you may have more candles than the other person. That may be the reason you also have to be careful of things like some people when they're sharing their results, they're using Heikin-Ashi candles, which is a terrible idea when trading, because trading especially in bots for backtesting, because the calculation of a Heikin-Ashi candle is completely different to what is processed by the backtester, and will give you absolute fantastic results pretty much every time, and will not ever look like that when you're really trading. So you may be on Heikin-Ashi candles, the person may be on any other kind of candles, and that may be one of the reasons that it might be different. If they look too good to be true, it's probably because they're on Heikin-Ashi candle.
Oh, I saw in one of your videos that you said we should never backtest on these candles, so I never use it again.
Yeah,
so millions of percent of. I said we are going to become billionaires next year. Like
absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been about 18 months. I've been doing this back testing and things like that on YouTube, and even myself, I've been extremely excited at the very, very beginning about Heikin-Ashi candles, and then you realise that when you run it on real time, that they just do not work in the slightest. Real time trading.
And
There is ways around it. Sorry.
What are the, let's say, when you optimize the percentages that you optimize, you are going, let's say, for minimum draws, I suppose, or you are, let's say, what is the minimum out of the minimum from your experience?
So what I look for when I'm optimizing a trading strategy, if you go over to the second tab of TradingView, there's something called Sharpe ratio and Sortino ratio. I look for a trading strategy where a Sharpe ratio is over 1. If William, there you go. Sharpe ratio, I think you've gone a bit too far. Yeah, Sharpe ratio has to be over 1 for me to want to trade the trading strategy. I'm currently doing, which will be free to everybody that's in Discord, a full course about the optimizer itself and what I do to optimize. I did last week a live stream about the optimizer and things like that, and I'm just cutting it all up and putting it onto Teachable so that you'll be able to digest and smaller videos as such, a little bit easier to watch.
And I went to this teacher, but you cannot log in. He says log in, but we don't have the password to log in. I went there, but I couldn't watch it.
Okay. Tomorrow I'm doing a live stream, and there'll be a link with a voucher code which allows you to create a free account, because otherwise Teachable charge you. And my idea is just to give it to free everybody that's inside of the thing, inside the group. Something that's new. So what I'm doing is giving a link to everybody so that you've got a free voucher, so you can log in and get everything for free. So free part of Patreon, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So
okay.
So yeah, sorry about that. I should have said it in the email, but I expected to do a live stream a bit earlier in the week, to be honest, and I got a little bit behind, to be honest. But it'll be in the stream tomorrow. There'll be a voucher so you can get into Teachable and be able to see all the videos about the optimizer.
So basically, we should be watching on this number. Doesn't matter of these 20, 30, 40% drawdown. We should watch for this number to be above 1.
Absolutely. I obviously don't want a huge drawdown either, because that's the most painful part of obviously of algo trading, is when you see and you often will turn off a trading strategy that gets past 20%, and then suddenly all of a sudden it will start winning, and you'll turn it back on, and then it'll just be a complete nightmare. So I try to optimize for a decent meaning anything around the 20% maximum. That's 20 odd percent drawdown. I always make sure that my Sharpe ratio is above 1. When you have a Sharpe ratio above 1, in general, your Sortino ratio will be above 3, which is generally quite good. Win rate, meaning percent profitable win rate. It all depends on how you feel as a trader. I can go through a trading strategy and have very, very small stop loss, and quite happily sit through quite a few trades in a row that lose, as long as I have a small stop loss. That's my mental myself, because I've been doing it for a while, and I'm used to some trading strategies going through a number of losses without having too much of a problem. If that isn't for you, you prefer a higher win rate and maybe a higher stop loss. That's something that's personal. But a win rate, I always look for something that's over 55%, because that gives me my edge on the marketplace as far as I'm concerned. These are just my personal opinions as I've gone along. 55% allows me to, there are some exceptions to the rule. I'll go through them in a second. 55% allows me to include things like fees from the exchanges and things like that I cover for, and gives me that 5% edge on the market. And that's one thing that I look for as well. And then obviously, when I'm using the optimizer, the actual profit itself is the number one, obviously, that you want to look for. A strategy that's got a nice equity curve, hasn't got too many great big dips. Yeah, that's the kind of things that I look for whilst optimizing myself. Most important, absolutely most important, is to understand things like overfitting, curve fitting, changing all of the rules in a trading strategy is absolutely not worth it in the slightest. Don't just turn on the optimizer, leave it to run for hours and optimizing everything. You end up fitting it to the market as it was in previous historic data, and that won't help you at all, because your first trading strategy that you launch will perform terribly, and that's when people give up algo trading. Things that I generally play around with the trading strategy manually first to find some good settings, and then I'll play around with things like the ATR lengths if I'm using ATR for stop loss. Using the optimizer, I'll play around with some of the settings in the main indicators in the main algorithm, but not all of them, because you'll just overfit it and it won't work. I hope I didn't go too long into that. Sorry about that.
And reality versus optimizer, what is the truth?
Reality optimizer. Algo trading is hard, without a doubt. Trading is extremely hard. Algo trading is hard. I prefer a million times algo trading than trading myself. But that's my personal opinion as well. The algo trading, finding a good strategy that you feel comfortable trading with, is lots of research. We're a great group. We've got loads of great ideas. That's one thing that I think's extremely positive about the David Tech group, is that we're bouncing ideas off of each other. We come into live streams like this. Lots of people inside the group share their settings, and lots of people share their ideas. We've got some great tools like the optimizer, which David Tech members profit from, because you'll be able to see all of the 8,000 users optimizing strategies, and you'll be able to see the results above in Discord. But the reality versus non-reality is that I have been doing this for around 18 months, going through doing strategies, and I've got 5 profitable strategies running 4/7. One of them, which is the Wolf and Bear, I turned off through a certain period through Christmas, and then turned it back on because I didn't like the results I was getting from it, and that's now performing well again. So 5 out of I think I've coded. I think it's 50 something.
So, but basically the ones that are on the one strategy, no?
There's a couple new ones that have recently come out that I'm running as well. It's not that I don't want to share. I share all of the settings on Discord. It's just I don't want people to just throw the strategies on the screen and leave them on there and it all just fall apart for people. So I prefer to come in and talk about them, and then say you'll find things here and there and things like that. So you'll be able to find my settings in Discord. There are other ones than the one. The best performer this year was the Dead Zone. There's also the Dead Zone, the Wolf and Bear. There's the Dead Zone, the Wolf and Bear that's in inside the one. There's the double RSI. We have the squeeze momentum strategy. Those ones are the bigger extender. They're the ones that are the best performers. I also had a couple of Bollinger Band strategies that performed quite well last year as well. And yeah, that's it.
And when you're on this one, you're mentioning that preloaded, everything is preloaded. But when I go, let's say, Dead Zone, 15 minutes BTC to to whatever. On Bybit, it doesn't give any, I don't know.
Doesn't give any results.
It doesn't give, yeah, it's, let's say, I don't know, 30% win rate when you preload it, as you are saying that everything is preloaded there.
Okay, they're not preloaded. They're preloaded. Go to the question mark on the side, Will.
Yeah.
They're only preloaded for certain exchanges, and if you go over to this,
Yeah, I saw. It's on the question mark. It tells you where to go. Yeah. Click. All this the same.
Okay. Like I just said, the one was an experiment that I did. That one's 64% win rate. The one is kind of not an experiment, not in the slightest. It was
an easy setup.
Easy setup. I'm personally against just like I said, throwing them on a chart, because the problem is that trading strategies, if you just throw them on a chart and don't understand what's behind them and don't understand how to optimize, they're not forever. They're not forever. They won't work forever and a day, because markets change. Markets change. That's the main reason. Markets change, data changes, things like that. So they're not there forever. So the idea behind the one was to give some basic setups, and then help people to go across over to strategies like the dead zone. If you go to testimonials inside David Tech, there's tons of people that are trading the dead zone on live accounts, and it's one of the best strategies. There's other strategies that I don't even trade that other users inside the Discord are trading daily and finding much better results. Somebody's hoovering.
Somebody's vacuum cleaning.
Yeah, absolutely. Can do my house afterwards, could you?
Hi, David.
Hi.
I have one question regarding to the sub account. Is it possible
Yes.
I can using the sub account under the connect to check a trade?
Great. Yeah, absolutely. I say it's the best way of doing things is to create sub accounts and use the sub accounts and not your main account. There's several reasons for that as well. There's obviously you can protect your capital by creating your sub accounts. The other reason is if you have two strategies on BTC USDT, for example, you can separate them onto two accounts and you can see which one is the best performing out of the two of them. So yes, you can use sub account.
So as for the API and API secret and API key, is it using the
Yes.
sub account or using the main account?
The sub account. You log into the sub account and you pick up your API case from there. Sorry about that. Will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I follow all your instruction, but I don't know what I have the signal, but I cannot trigger trade, cannot send the signal to Bybit. I don't know why.
Have you got hedge mode enabled on your coin pair?
Yeah, maybe I DM William. I don't want to bother you in this moment.
No, it's no problem.
Let's go do it very quickly.
Hopefully you're logged in well because we can see your screen, don't forget.
I know, yeah.
And that's not your £1 million account, is it? Your Wile account.
No, that's my testing account.
Yeah, that's right. Also, as William said, if you want a one-on-one to be able to set up Trigger Trade, William will show you where the button is on the website, and you can book a one-on-one with William. And there's a calendar, and you can choose a date that's best for you. And William will go through everything on how to set up your account with Trigger Trade.
Yeah, I already have everything already, but I don't know why the Bybit cannot receive the signal from Trigger Trade.
Yeah. William will show you in a second the hedge mode.
Just loading up very quickly, be 2 seconds. Just while I'm loading, just very quickly to reply to S1CK. Yep, there are 2 web links. You've got either bybit.com, or if not, you've got testit.bybit.com to be able to test out strategies, etc. As you can see on my browser now, you've got Bybit US here. And if not, you've got your testnet account, which is available here as well. Right, let's go over to... For enabling your hedge mode, what I do is on for a first time coin pair. So What coin haven't I tried this week? Go for XRP. I think I haven't got that one set up. So open up your Bybit account, go to your derivatives future accounts. And so when you load up your first time, so like here, XRP, click on that little clog on the side here. Wait a second. Sorry, just needed to reload. My internet's gone dead on all of a sudden for me. So when we click on this clog here, load for me.
Slowest internet in front. There you go.
By default, you're set up as being a one-way mode. So what you need to do is go click on that clog and click on position and switch to hedge mode.
Yeah, I already changed hedge mode already.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you got
with this?
the Telegram bot enabled or not?
Is it possible I can have the tags? How to check a trade? Have to connect to the Bybit? Can I? Can we have something like the tags? Send the signal to tags. Is it? They can connect together. Is it possible
Sorry, didn't hear
before live trade?
If you got
a message.
Yeah. So that's why I don't need to wait the. I got the signal. I don't know. Maybe wait a few days and then I already wait a few days for different signal. I cannot get signal.
So you want to force through a trade to test out. You can use third-party software, like Postman, for example. There are lots of other third-party softwares which you can use to be able to force through a trade, test your account to make sure everything's running all right. Only thing which you'd have to do inside of the code itself when you copy out the long or enter is remove all the hashtags like the hashtag symbol and replace it by BTC USDT, for example, or a coin pair that you want to use.
You could use the other strategies button to do it.
Yeah, or the other strategies button to start setting up for testing. If you want to force through, there isn't actually a way to be able to test through with David-Tech strategies unless you put it on a lower time frame with small stop losses to be able to trigger directly from a strategy itself.
If you want William to try and push a trade through with you on his screen here, like I said here, there's a button where you can at the bottom here where you can choose a date, and William will jump onto a screen with you on one, and then you'll be able to choose a day for William to push a trade through for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
No problem whatsoever. It's just that I didn't want you to share your credentials or anything on the screen. Is that?
If you're still on, still online after our live stream, DM me, and we can go through it and set up a testnet account and run some tests through on a testnet account for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Aaron. Setting up an inverse put bot on trigger trade. Yep. Aaron, yes, it is just a case of selecting up here inverse. When you select inverse, your webhook URL will change, so it won't be the same as what you are currently if you're using USDT. So you've got a new webhook which is available on inverse setups.
Okay.
Gatsby, where can you find your dead zone settings? All the dead zone settings, you can find quite a few inside Discord. You've got the optimizer. Just let me change my screen very quickly. Show a window. inside of getting started, you've got a couple of different groups which have got some strategies. You've got strategies by David Tech. Here are the latest indicators with David Tech strategies setups already built.
It's echoing. It's echoing again, Will.
Can you hear me now?
We're echoing. Don't know if it's just me.
Is it better?
Maybe just me.
No, everybody sounds double. Test? Yeah.
Let me look at that in 2 seconds.
1, 2. Oh, it's the stream actually. You need to mute it.
Mute that off.
TV account, click on the headphones on the bottom left corner.
I've already muted.
Bottom left.